Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rep. Last time that I checked, I was selling in the set. Make $250,000, no sweat. Last time that I...
Welcome to Talking with EG. I'm here with our first guest, Amber.
Hello.
You're going to talk a little bit about your life and your experience with domestic violence. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back a little bit to when you met your son's father.
I was 14. I met him at church, which means I was going to church for the wrong reasons. And I ended up having our son when I was 19 years old and ended up leaving him when my son was only 3 months. And doing that, I ended up being with my daughter's father.
Okay.
And to me, it was like a whole exciting new, part of life.
Mm-hmm. Aside from your domestic violence, you said that you also had experienced homelessness. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically I started living on his aunt's floor, and we went from that to finally gaining, or I should say I gained a back house that we were staying at, and we went from there. I think that's where the beginning of the domestic violence started, where it was an altercation, me telling him fuck his mom and him pushing me, but I mean I've been pushed before, so it wasn't like a big deal for me. But we ended up losing that place because I couldn't work while I was pregnant.
Okay.
So we left there, but we were staying in a motor home with broken windows, no running water, and we were basically stealing electricity from the pole outside.
Oh, wow.
But I remember numerous of times of him pulling me out of the mobile home and dragging me down the street. I mean, a busy street, so people were seeing this happen, and he got to the point where he didn't care if there was 20 people outside. Calls? No, I never called the police.
But did anybody ever call them?
No, everybody stayed to themselves and stayed out of people's business.
Okay.
But it got to a point when we were in Rite Aid, and this is how much he consumed my mind, that we were in Rite Aid and we're picking out the complexion of my skin versus makeup so I can go to work. And as you know, as my sister, I don't wear a lick of makeup.
Right.
Not even this.
Yeah.
And when I became pregnant with my first daughter, Angela, he started being real controlling. Or
during your pregnancy?
Yes.
Okay.
Verbally abusive, and I was working 6 months pregnant, taking 3 trains and 2 buses to get to work while he stayed at home in the bed. And
so he wasn't working?
No, he never did.
Okay.
But it got to a point where I told him one day, hey, I can't do this anymore. I'm 6 months pregnant. I'm traveling at 4 o'clock in the morning, coming home close to 8 o'clock at night. So not just me, but my daughter was out all day, And I told him, and I became a lazy bitch to him.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to.
So he said you were a lazy bitch.
Yeah, even though he was at home asleep while I was working. It got to pushing and shouting more, and I think once I got pregnant with Rayla, my third daughter, which...
Your third child?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was, a lot of people don't know, was a rape baby. I love my daughter, but it was a forced pregnancy. I think he thought him doing that was to keep more control over me and to make it seem like I had to stay just with him.
Okay. By making raping you to have another child.
Correct.
So you have one child, your son with your other ex, and then you have your 2 daughters with the man who you
had to miss.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It got more physical. I would have cuts and bruises and gashes and really bad headaches. And to be honest, I may have had a couple of concussions that I didn't even know about. So one day I came home and I told him, I don't want to work anymore. You have to work and I'm going to go to school. And I ended up getting beat up for 6 hours straight. And I finally was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was preparing to get my daughters together so I could take them with me. And
Your son wasn't there?
No, thank God.
Okay.
But he was like, you're not taking the girls anywhere. So I was like, he's never hurt them. I'm going to leave and go get help. So I walked 6 miles, and I looked horrible. I didn't bathe. I haven't brushed my teeth. I didn't do my hair. I was beat up. So I'm looking like a wild woman that came from a fight.
Right, which you did.
Well, yeah, technically, yeah. So, like I said, I called you, and I keep getting his call, and I keep ignoring it because I feel like if he knew where I was, he was going to come in there, you know, and he didn't care who was around.
Yeah.
He didn't care if it was
down the
12 people standing in a circle and beating my ass on the side. He didn't care. He didn't have that, oh, I shouldn't do it here. It was just whenever I felt like it. Yeah. So, I finally answered the phone after I called you, and all I heard were sirens.
Like police sirens?
Police sirens. Well, at the time I didn't know what sirens. It was just sirens because I was my adrenaline was so up.
Right.
But sirens, and then I hear, "Where the fuck are you?" And da 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 da. And nothing clicked to me to think that, where are my daughters?
Right.
Until I heard Angela crying, "Daddy, stop it, Daddy. Slow down,
And how old
Daddy."
is Angela at this time?
She's 3. At that point, I was like, I don't care. Find me.
Right.
I just know my daughter is with you.
Right.
So he goes, "I'm at," and I didn't hear anything. Nothing. I try to call back. There's no answer. There's no nothing. You finally arrived, and like our mom was like, "Hey, flag down the next police officer you see." To me, just saying this sounds like a movie. It doesn't even sound right.
It does sound like a movie.
And even when I tell my story to people, they're like, "There's no way in hell."
Yeah.
No. This was real life. This was my life.
Right.
And flagged down the cop, and I had to describe my vehicle, but it frustrated me because they were just like, "Well, what happened to you? What happened?" I'm like, I don't really care what happened to me. Like, I need to find out where my kids are.
But in their defense, you were visibly
understood that.
Like shit.
Yeah.
You did. You know, like you had bruises on your face, you had cuts, you had literally, like, she had literally like fucking hand marks on her throat. Like it was visibly you had been in a situation, and I think they were like, okay, this is a situation happening right here in front of me. Like, what the fuck happened to you?
But then there's a whole other situation happening right at that point.
Exactly. So I know that was frustrating for both of us because we were like, okay, she's beat to shit, but she's alive. Like, we don't know where the other, where the kids are, like, so yeah, go ahead.
So, I described my vehicle to the police officer, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was a woman and a man?
It was 2 men and a woman.
Yeah, see, so my mind was like flipped at this point.
Yeah.
And I described him, and all I seen him look back at me. And I looked at him, and he's like, "Your car has been involved in a high-speed chase," and I felt all of my blood just run out of my body. I don't know how to explain it, but I was just...
I felt it too, yeah. My heart just dropped.
I wanted to throw up. I don't know.
And I think you did say that. I think you said, "I want to throw up, I want to throw up, I want to throw up," and I'm like, okay, hold on. Where are the kids? Like, are the kids okay? Because you were just gone.
I couldn't believe it was happening. I swear to God, I was pinching myself because I felt like I was asleep. And I really just needed to wake up because I've never... I mean, you hear this stuff on movies, you hear this stuff on TV, on the news, and you're like, damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But
it's happening to you right now.
It's really happening. It's really my story. Yeah. It's really me.
Right.
And it was shocking to me, like, oh, is this really fucking happening to me?
Yeah.
They took me back to the police station. And it took a group of pictures of me, and their main focus still is me. After knowing my kids were involved in a high-speed chase and there was an accident, nobody had told me anything. I'm waiting hours. And they're like, "Oh, they're gonna bring your kids to the police station, and then you guys can go home." They made it sound so simple, like I'm just waiting for them. No, my kids were at the hospital, and at that time they had arrested their father. And
let's go back a little bit. Your kids were in the car when that accident happened.
Yep, no seatbelt, no car seat. Our daughter Raylan just turned 1, like a week prior. So you can imagine, a full-on 1-year-old, but she had just turned 1, and she's very little to this day. So her and my 3-year-old, which is still kind of like little, she's small, in a back seat of a car with no seatbelt, no car seat, and they're doing 110 miles per hour. with a mindset of a man that is just demonic at that point.
Right.
And they've been collided with another vehicle. Like, and you can't give me any more information.
Right.
So, I did press charges, but the funny thing about it...
And there was an injury.
Yes.
Okay.
To...
Angela.
Yeah, Angela. My daughter had fractured her arm. Thank God she didn't break it. She fractured her arm. And by the grace of God, my little one only had like a little skid mark from like a carpet or something in the car on her forehead. And that was it. But I had to go to court, of course, and I had to testify. But I was still wanting him to be released from jail. I was still trying to figure out how he could fight the case. I was still trying to figure out how I could talk to the lawyer to get him out of jail. And it got to a point where I got in trouble. Like, you're not supposed to be talking to this man. This is the police officers and Child Protective Services, which was included into the case.
Right.
And they're like, you're not supposed to talk to him. So guess what? Now you're going to a domestic violence shelter, and you're going to have to take all these classes. And if not, we are snatching your kids. But till this day, until you complete that process, we have jurisdiction of your daughters.
Right.
And I was like...
And that's what clicked for you?
No.
It still didn't click. Okay.
I had to go to domestic violence shelter, and you had to take multiple classes for parenting, anger management, which I was kind of mad at classes because I'm like, hey, like, I'm not angry.
Yeah.
I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm not, I am a great mother. I provide for my kids. Like, I don't understand why you have... I felt like I was in trouble. And as people would say, I was the victim.
Right.
So I felt like society at that point did me wrong.
Right.
And one day, I woke up at the shelter, and something told me, this ain't right.
It was just like that?
Just like that. I woke up and something told me, this ain't right. You got to get it together. And I looked at my daughters in the bed next to me, and I just cried. And I said, you're right. And I am religious, so I believed it was God that told me that. Like, hey, you got to snap out of it.
Right.
Because I done gave you all these opportunities to walk away from this man. And since you didn't have the guts to do it, I'm going to snatch him away from you.
Right.
But you also have repercussions.
Right.
That's how I looked at it.
That's crazy how you just woke up one morning and was like...
That's it. That's it.
Okay. And you finished all your classes... And you did everything you needed to do with the domestic violence shelter. You get your own place.
But let me tell you something about that.
Okay.
Because a lot of people think that when you go to a domestic violence program, shelter, whatever, they're there to help you.
You don't.
I didn't get help not once there. I had to not work for 3 months.
Which is hard because you have kids.
Right. So they didn't want me to work for 3 months. They wanted me to just dedicate myself to the program. Then they wanted us to pay for everything. They wanted us to pay for diapers. They wanted us to pay for food.
How are you supposed to pay for this stuff?
Oh, they wanted us to get on
assistance,
government assistance. And I had done it before, but I felt like I'm off of it. I've been off of it because I've been working.
Right.
So I felt like it was like a slap in my face, and now I went from here to back down here. So they didn't help me. I felt they didn't help me get a place. They didn't help me get another job.
You did that all by yourself.
I had to do all of that by myself.
Okay. And now, not like that, but now you don't have him at home to watch your kids. So now you have to find daycare and babysitters and things like that to help you watch your kids while you work, right?
Right. And I mean, at this point, right now, it was my kids are all at one school.
Yeah.
I mean, just to speed up the whole situation,
Yeah.
But just for women that feel like they have to stay in that relationship, when people tell you, well, why don't you just get out of it? I understand you. I get it. It's not that easy just to snap from A to Z because it's wrong.
Yeah.
Just like taking drugs. You start taking a drug and you get addicted to it.
You can't just... I mean, some people stop cold turkey, but
then you start...
Yeah, you start getting all
wanting it,
yeah.
and you have... I mean, it's the same thing, but I would say... Every woman has a gut feeling, intuition. Everybody, even men, have the same thing.
Yeah.
If you know your gut is saying, this isn't right, don't do it. Don't stay there. You got to get out. And I was lucky.
You were.
I was lucky. Like, there was a lot of times I went to the hospital, and I would lie, and I never once called the police in any of the.
So this was never reported.
Abuse. No. Woman.
But you have it figured out because now you have your own place.
But it's me.
It's
I had
you.
to think. I was thinking like, oh my God, I have to be what
Yeah.
society wants me to be. You don't have to.
Nope.
You can be you. And right now, I would say I'm the happiest that I've been in a very long time. And to this day, like right now, like today, like I started my own meal prepping company.
Yeah, you have your own.
I'm
little
writing a
hustle.
book, even though it's gonna take me forever to fucking do. But I've started it.
Yeah.
I'm working full time. I'm a mom of 3 beautiful children. Like, I did that. Just to say that you accomplished so much, knowing that you went through a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
I feel now that at 28, my life is starting to finally bring joy.
I mean, now it's 2019, but like a lot of people just think of domestic violence as being a victim being a woman, and that is of course not the case. Like, there are women who beat on men. There are women who, you know, get in the heads of men and manipulate. That is a form of abuse. It's not just financial. It is not just the woman who's always a victim. That's important that we say that here today, that it can also be a woman abusing a man. That is important. But you have shit going. So you were just recently promoted at your job. Okay, I think it was like, what, yesterday?
Yesterday.
Okay, and you have a business that just rolled out, and it's called
Prep My Meal Girl.
And what is it?
So what I do is I home make your lunches. I am also, well, I'm not quite all the way up to the par to do it for everybody, but I do breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
And it comes with a snack and stuff like that. It's something little, but it's also something really big because
that's a huge
it's
responsibility.
Just me.
Yeah.
And it is a big responsibility. For one, like I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
So I have to work them around what I'm doing.
Right.
But I also work 5 days out of the week.
A 9 to 5, yeah.
It's hard, but when I started it, I said, you know, even if it does not work out, even if it's only one person I do it for, I'm happy that I did it.
Yeah, you tried it.
I'm happy that I tried it. I'm happy that I put it out there. I'm happy that I didn't just talk about it and say, oh, I should do this.
You actually did
I actually did it.
Right.
And not only that, I could show my kids, and I want, as right now into 2019, you can be successful off of doing anything.
Oh, that is so true.
You can be famous by doing anything.
Yeah.
There's people out there eating food and getting millions of dollars because of the way the shit sounds. I mean, can I smack on the camera and get 10 grand? But I wanted to also show my kids that you don't have to clock in and out for a man or a woman's company.
Yeah.
You can do your own shit.
Yeah.
You're doing your own shit.
Your Prep My Meal Girl is pretty successful. You had like 11 customers like within the same week.
The first week, and I didn't even know what the hell. I was like, well, this is a menu.
I have to do it.
You know? I mean, and it's like I have to tell people, they're like, how much did you make? I said, you know what? I did spend a lot of my profit, but you have to.
You have to spend
starting
money, yeah.
So,
sure.
I mean, my prices may go up a little bit, or, you know, but...
And where can people find your, like, if they want to contact you for their meal prep, where can they contact you?
You can go to prep_my_meal_girl, and it'll pop up.
On IG?
Yes.
Okay.
You can go, or also my original one is LMA_91, and you can find a link on my page as well.
Okay. And when, I know you said it's going to take a long time, but when do you expect to drop your book? Because I know that, I feel like that would be a really good read.
Right now, I don't know. Like, I think I'm barely on chapter 6 of my book.
That's really good.
But I told myself that I wanted to do, I know it sounds like a lot, but I want to do 23 chapters.
I don't think that's too bad.
And the only reason why I say 23 chapters is because that's when my domestic violence and my bad spell of my life stopped.
At 23 years old?
At 23 years old.
Well, I'm so happy that you came today and shared your story with us. I mean... Wow. Look out for my book, though. I don't know what's coming out, but look out for it. It's going to be, not going to tell you. Well, thank you so much for coming, and I'm really honored that you know, It's my first show, so I'm really honored that you came.
Ooh, I was number 1.
All right, well, you're here with Talking with EG. This is Amber. I'm Erica. Catch you on the next one.
Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rap. Last time that I checked, I was selling in the set.